I'm Gary Sieber. Welcome back. I'm joined now on the Notre Dame Day Hotline by one of Notre Dame football's all-time greats, a name that you will all know. He is the 45th player in Fighting Irish history to be elected to the College Football Hall of Fame, the most players from any one school in America, by the way, and also one of only two pure wide receivers ever inducted. And while at Notre Dame, he earned the distinction of Consensus All-American in 1970, held the title of leading receiver from 1969 to 1971. He also, by the way, excelled in the classroom, twice being named an academic All-American and making the Dean's List all 8 of his semesters at the university. Thom Gatewood, it is so great to have you on the line. How are you doing today?
I'm great, Gary. Thank you for having me.
You bet. Welcome to Notre Dame Day. Thom, you started playing football in the 10th grade, as I understand it, and I also understand you experienced quite a learning curve on the field upon coming to Notre Dame. How does it feel now, after all these years, to be among the elite ranking of College Football Hall of Famers?
I guess the big word that comes to mind is grateful, and certainly blessed to have had talent from the heavens, from God, but grateful for teammates and coaches and mentors, professors, friends. So many people have been on this journey with me, and to get into this position to go into the Hall of Fame is very, very humbling. But for me, it was all about being trained in the classroom and on the football field, where a positive environment's always present at Notre Dame. Talent, environment, preparation, coupled with, I guess, the opportunity helped to propel 45 different Notre Dame men before me to get into this fraternity called the College Football Hall of Fame. And I wore number 44, and it took 44 years for me to get in. So it was a long wait, but well worth it to join guys like Ross Browner and Dave Casper and Chris Zorich and Joe Theismann, my quarterback. All these people in common are talented. They exemplified leadership, all men of character who put all those traits to good use in their private lives once football was over. So it was well worth the wait for me to be joined those type of people.
Thom, I was among the 80-some-odd thousand people standing on my feet, roaring applause last year when you were honored at one of the games and you came out. It seemed to be a very emotional moment when you came out on the field. Just a terrific scene. A wonderful reunion at your university. So let's go back to the beginning. And what drove you to choose Notre Dame over other schools that might have wanted you to play?
I got to look at two mentors. One, my high school coach, George Young, who had a lot of faith in me and took a green 10th grader who had never really played organized football and saw whatever the raw talent I was and helped me to develop that talent. He saw more, like most coaches, they see so much more in you than you see in yourself. So he took it upon himself to collect some information, stats, film, and send it off to Notre Dame, because after 200 different schools pitching for my my services, Notre Dame was not among them. And it wasn't until February of my senior year that I visited the campus as a result of George Young sending that footage off to the campus. And I went out there on a snowy weekend, spoke to coaches, saw the university, spoke to different professors. But the next person who really made the impact was Ara Parsegian, who, by the way, is also in the College Football Hall of Fame. And he was very, very low-key, as he is still today. A 10-minute interview after that whole weekend at South Bend. And he basically said in his pitch, I think you can make a contribution. After we looked at your footage and we talked to you and talked to people who know you, we think you can make a contribution to the university, and we think we can help you build a life beyond your dreams. It was a very simple pitch, very low-key, but he wasn't promising me to be an All-American instantly, that I was going to have great success, that I was going to play in the National Football League. He was talking about the development of the whole man, the scholar and the athlete. That was the selling point. Within 2 weeks after that visit, I signed and said, I'm coming to Notre Dame.
Well, you certainly fit the mold for everything that Ara was looking for and everything the university stands for, Thom. I know that you want to talk about a 1969 game in Yankee Stadium. The Irish took down Army 45-0, and it's very special to you. Tell us a little about what happened.
It was special to me, playing in Yankee Stadium, first of all, because I was a guy who loved baseball, and that was probably one of the reasons I never played football until 10th grade. I was a baseball player, and I thought I was destined for Major League Baseball. So being in Yankee Stadium playing football was kind of weird, playing football in the baseball stadium, but the ghost of the Yankees was there that day, and it was kind of spooky. One of the rituals that I did every game was to walk the full length of every football field, looking for divots in the field and crowns and anything that might impact the game for me. And I was, sort of spooked out. The other thing that made me nervous, though, was that my parents were going to be in the stands, and they had never seen me play any organized sport at all until that day. And here I am in this huge, huge stadium, and playing in my sophomore season. And at that point, this was like game 4 or 5. I can't remember exactly which one, but I had only caught about 3 or 4 passes at that point. And I got really revved up. Joe was hot. He was from New Jersey, and he had lots more people in the stands than I did. And it was kind of a calming effect. And all of a sudden, the pass receptions were adding up. I had 2 scores that day. The New York Times wrote a huge article, and it was like the kickoff for the career that would eventually put me into the Hall of Fame, because the Theismann-Gatewood combo would become the hottest combo in the country the following season.
Well, Thom, those were great memories, and I will say that you, along with many other people in that era, you've got a few years on me, but I used to watch those games, and you, among all those people, were one of the reasons that I chose eventually to come to Notre Dame. We certainly appreciate your time today, and thanks for everything you've meant and everything you've done for the university, and thanks for joining us today on Notre Dame Day.